Welcome back to the Iron Dojo. I am, of course, IronLambro, and this is the first episode of the FGT, formerly known as the Mojo Dojo. We had to rename it because some other people were using that name that I wasn't aware of until I finally looked it up. It is what it is, and of course we got a week full of news for you guys to catch up on. So yeah, a bunch of big topics today, not as much news as usual, but we'll break it down as usual. Gotta find a good place to get some uber strong glasses. Smacky is YouTube. You're the guy that likes Yumi. That's the guy that likes Yumi. You stay away from them. A little bit weird. Anyways, first piece of news that we wanted to go over is, of course, King of Fighter 15 is now delayed for 2022 Q1 though. We have a firm time. Put Maya in Smash. Not if you're a good boy and girl. There won't be Maya in Smash. But Q1 2022, you know, that's not so far away. We got at least like what, 6 months of stride before we get another fighting game. That sounds pretty good. And they were like, because of COVID reasons, you know, we couldn't get the level of quality quite as much as we want. Here's a message from Oda. There are many fans who are anticipating the release of KoF 15 in 2021. However, at this point in time, we unfortunately have to announce that KoF 15 will be launching within the first quarter of 2022. The development timeline was set out to reach in the beginning has been affected by the ever-rising cases of COVID-19 within Japan. We made the ultimate decision in the end that the product's quality must come first. Get that rollback in there. And so the decision comes from an altered release window. This might be time that they're spending to put rollback in there. We sincerely ask you for your time, patience, and understanding as our development team continues to work hard on KoF 15 as we draw to its release. Put Maya in Smash, says Cordy. Put Vanessa in Smash. That would be great. Get some older characters in there. But yeah, no, the KoF 15 is now delayed until Q1 2022. I'm not mad about it, you know, I'm not mad. Take all the time you need, SNK, put that rollback in there, give us a beta so we could give you some constructive feedback about how your lobbies might or might not suck, you know. The FGC is very good about that, telling you if your lobbies suck. Jeremy is just like mine, also not good for the good boys and girls of the Smash community. Put rollback in Smash? God, if only. If this is so that they can properly implement rollback into their game, I'm all for it. Like 100%. We don't want to be in a situation like that other game that came out this week, and we'll talk about that later tonight. But absolutely, I think that if they needed to spend the time to make sure KoF 15 releases in a great state, I'm down for it. Of course, this also means with the release of this news last night, there's no silhouette for this week for us to guess. So we're just gonna, you know, let it rock, and you know, we hope the developers are safe and that they make a fantastic game that we can play for years to come. So that's the first piece of news. Second piece of news, and the major piece of news, right, is this thing right here, chat. The Intel World Open. That's right, chat. The FGC is now a part of the Olympics. It finally happened between Rocket League and Street Fighter V. We are a part of the Intel World Open Tokyo. Intel, and here's the rulebook. There is a ton of rules in here. We are absolutely esports now. We finally made it, and this is a how many page document? It's a 28-page document. 28-page document for rules for the Street Fighter V segment of the Intel World Open. So some of these rules stood out to me. There were some fun ones in here that I wanted to point out to you guys. Yeah, we are the FGC. We made it from grassroots to esports. We're esports now, but only play Street Fighter V and deal with that netcode. So, you know, all right, you gotta follow all these rules, yada, yada, yada. Get to the good stuff, Lambro. All right. We're gonna get to the good stuff. The first one that was most interesting to me. Where is it? This is just a table of contents, by the way. The first one that was interesting to me was doping. Right? You guys know about doping? All right. So we have blood and urine tests now. We're testing that PP in the FGC. We're testing that PP for that Adderall. Yeah, it's happening, chat. So if you refuse to be tested, it's considered doping. Penalties would be the same as for severe cases of substance abuse. All right, there's a list here of, you know, stuff that you can't take. If you have prescribed medication, it has to fall under this list. So there's penalties for doping, with nullification of your results. as well as disqualification. If a player is found guilty of a severe case of doping only after the last match of the tournament, we'll blow this up a little bit more so you guys can see it. The tournament has already been over for at least 24 hours. This player will still get banned, but the tournament results would be the same. Alright? And of course, you guys are all, well, the older crowd is, get disqualified. You're gonna take an L for using alcohol or other psychoactive drugs. So if you are like my boy Fu, and you get that booze power up after that one drink, you're out. You cannot be playing you can't be playing under the influence of alcohol or other psychoactive drugs. I don't know if alcohol is a psychoactive drug at all, but yeah, no boozing. No boozing or psychoactive drug. They mean you know. But yeah, so that's a big one. The other one that I wanted to show you guys, no getting sauce for the Olympics. Cancel SF5 from the Olympics. Yeah, boom, they're straight up nerfing you. Thanks for showing up, dude. Alright, so the other one I wanted to talk about was it spamming in game. Alright, so like the title of this caught my eye, right? Spamming in game, and Lab is automatically get disqualified here. So for breach of netiquette for an orderly and pleasant game, it's essential that all players have a sportive and fair attitude. The breach of the netiquette and your public behavior. All participants shall abstain at all times from poor or undesirable or negative behavior. Everybody in my community is banned. It's actually banned in shooting competition because performance enhancement comes with aim. Exactly. No wonder League didn't make it. You mean you can't zone with Hadouken? We'll get to it. We'll get to it, dude. But it's like if you act like a shithead, like in and out of the game, well, you know, that reduces the public relations or commercial value of any involved party. Including derogatory comments, even the DSL, it's gonna intervene and you are gonna get punished, right? You're gonna get punished. Anyways, the one that caught my eye, of course, was spamming made the list, but it's not what you think, chat. It's not what you think. Spamming, the excessive posting of senseless, harassing, or offensive messages is regarded as spamming in the Intel World Open. So they have redefined spamming. Metallics with the resident sleeper over there, I see you. Spamming on the website, forums, match comment, player guestbook support, and protest tickets would be penalized depending on the nature and severity of the offense. Spamming in-game, that's the other one. Spamming in-game, okay? You guys are like, are we gonna stop Lambro finally? Is Lambro gonna get disqualified? No. The three major points would be deducted if the in-game chat function is abused towards the goal of annoying the opponent or generally steering the flow of the gameplay. So as long as I'm not talking shit, I'm still in there, folks. The all chat functions are there to communicate officially with the opponent and the match and the match admins. So as long as I'm not zoning them with my verbal abuse, we in there. We in. And of course, you know, there's the damaging or soiling, unsportsmanlike behavior. They have like 5 different things. Like half of the Metallics Twitter, like universe, you guys can't be a part of this. But that's your strat. This is bullshit. Yeah, no, like. So yeah. Those are the big ones. If you guys wanted the link to this, I'll post it in chat for you guys to go for it too. If you guys see anything fun, let me know. But those are the big ones. You can't be boozing for your Olympic match, and you can't be making fun of people. Oh, actually, there is one more thing. There is one more thing, and this is relevant because in the world of tennis, famous player Naomi Osaka recently was like, you know what? I don't want to deal with these corny ass reporters. I don't want these corny ass reporters, like, you know, busting up my style. Fuck this, I'm out. Alright, so there's actually a part in this official rules where there are like media obligations, right? Media obligations. Anyway, I'm gonna save you the reading of this, and basically they could fine you if you don't do interviews after your matches. They're you know, most events will have a mandatory media day. where the participants will be photographed, filmed, and interviewed by the ESL crew for the event presentation. So if you don't like getting your pictures taken, you don't like doing those interviews and being able to control yourself while doing those interviews, like all you want to do in those interviews is talking that shit, this might not be the tournament for you. You might not be an Olympian. So why did Naomi Osaka bow out? So to catch you guys up on what happened there, Naomi Osaka was like, you know, I gotta take care of my mental health. I'm not doing any press interviews after my matches. And you know, I assume that the rule list for the French Open has something like this in there. So what happened afterwards, the French Open fined her $15,000 for not showing up for the press interview afterwards, after she said she wasn't gonna do it. So then she was like, you know what, I'm out. You know, I don't want this to be about me. I gotta take care of myself, my mental health, and you know, I want the French Open to be about tennis. So I'm out. So that's what happened to her. You didn't wear a sports shirt when you're advertising. I don't, you know, there might be an advertisement bit in here. Anyway, I'm not gonna read through that now. I wasn't looking for that. You're now getting a Brian F stream notification. Okay, you're only here so you don't get fined. Eat Skittles. There you go. Yeah, you could just be there for Skittles so you don't get fined and answer the bare minimum. I don't think there's anything in here about being polite. All right. During those media obligations, but you know what it is. All right, so that takes care of that. I linked the rules. Oh yeah, it's 7,500 for winning in most regions, 8,000 for Japan, South Korea, but rest of East Asia, Southeast Asia, these are all the online qualifying tournaments before you actually make it to the big stage. And yeah, 7,500 for each region of your continent. You're sure the audience will be fine looking at not reading the rest of that statement for the video. Thank you. All right, next topic. So on Friday, the FGC was in an uproar, right? They were arguing again. Why was the FGC arguing again? Big left, but they can only see it on the screen, lol. Big Left made a post that was like, I'm tired of arguing with these fools that don't understand anything. Will someone please drop the facts? So what facts were we talking about? We are, of course, talking about monitor lag. Oh my god, monitor lag, what? So what the FGC was arguing was like, there's no such thing as monitor lag. And then another group was like, yes, if you get better equipment at 120 hertz, your monitor would have a faster reaction time. So we got this guy right here, YD, and he's like, you know, I get this question a lot regularly. So he set up 3 monitors with a simple Arduino timing program that, you know, transitions and it monitors when the screen flashes to a different picture. And when he found out over 100 tests for each refresh rate at 60 frames per second, what the reaction time is. There is no war. Yes, exactly. So what he found out was, on a 60 hertz monitor, the average response time where things get displayed on the screen was 2.44 frames. That's how long it took before it actually showed up. And on a 60 FPS monitor, on a 120 hertz monitor displaying 60 FPS, it was at 1.01 frames. So you're getting 1 frame, 1.5 frame faster. And then if you moved it up to a 170 hertz monitor displaying the 60 FPS, he got it to 0.93 frames, which is marginally better, barely anything. But it seems that if you are gaming on a PC on a high refresh rate monitor, you get that juicy 1.4 frames faster reaction time for you to visually confirm. Now, for most people, you're like, that's 1/6 of a second. Well, that's what is it, like 1/60th of a second? Like, that doesn't mean anything, but you know, you get enough like things going against you, like input delay and your visual delay and your old age mental delay, you know, from being old and not be able to react to things. It all adds up. So if you're trying to optimize your play, the go-to thing that we seem to want to be doing here is to play on PC and get that get that extra response time. Now, of course, a lot of tournaments are going to be on console, so if if you're used to playing on PC with that extra 1 frame and then switch to console, you might be in for a bad time. So my personal recommendation is practice on whatever the tournament is played on, right? Otherwise you get used to weird reaction times. You might have the advantage at home playing online. No, don't play that. It's a DMCA song. What would you play? Oh. Okay, gotcha. This is the same crap as people whining about net play stages. Next thing people are gonna be whining about song choices. Yeah. BB tag streaming. But yeah, so if you want to be competitive, definitely play on whatever the tournament's being ran on. But if you want to optimize everything you can to play as well as you can, I recommend playing on PC with a high refresh rate monitor. So, anyways, shilling for PC products aside, we are done with the browser section. We didn't have too much things we want to talk about this week. The Intel stuff was juicy. I enjoyed that a lot. So, alright, we are going to talk about some other juicy stuff that happened this week. You guys know what's coming. I got a few topics there too. Just make sure you're not playing Soul on Xrd. What's wrong with your Soul on Xrd? You're just freaking Dragon installed Ground Viper. Recently you changed it up a little bit, but like 95% of the time is Dragon installed Ground Viper. And alright, excuse me. The next part is, of course, the notepad section, and we got some stuff on the notepad this week. We have 4 things on the notepad this week, 4 topics that I want to talk to you guys about. First of all, I don't care what it shows you on the screen. I don't care what this says. Nash is still trash, okay, chat? Nash is 100% still trash. He won a major tournament in Brazil. he finally did it. It's been a long time. He hasn't won shit since like season 1 in Street Fighter V, but even though he has won a tournament, I have to report it due to journalistic integrity. But from my honest streamer fighting game player opinion, Nash is a shit carrot. And there is no proof otherwise, unless they give him an invincible DP. An invincible DP, and then I'll reconsider my argument. Alright, but had to cover this really fast. You're just like Scrooge, never gonna be happy unless Nash comes from the grave and punches you in the face. Welcome to Nashville, population 1. I hate it. Nashville. Never going to Tennessee now. Thank you. Thank you, Finn. Alright, the next topic. This is a spicier topic, I think, if it is what I think it is. Yes. I still hate that no one will fuck with you until you start doing good at tournaments, lol. It's super lame. I know. It's because I was a random at one point too. So this got a lot of heat on FGC Twitter the past week, where this guy was like, you know, pity partying himself. He's like, you know, no one's gonna mess with you. No one wants to, like, you know, play with you. If you're a nobody, you don't have tournament results, and you know, like, that's just life, man. Like, if you add 0 value to like the conversation, why were, I mean, like, there's some really nice top level players that always like does photo ops and plays casuals with you. Those players definitely exist. But if you're not offering, if you're not particularly good, and like you're not making any content, and you're just standing there kind of creepy, like it would be a little weird, right? If, like, you know, people started approaching you and, you know, start making conversation. So naturally Twitter, you know, went at it, right? They're like, you know, it's just life, you know, you gotta have, you know, something of substance before you like establish yourself. That's why, you know, if you're going to a tournament for your first time, yes, make friends, but maybe also go with 1 or 2 friends so you don't feel lonely or when offline comes by. But you could definitely meet friends in tournaments. I made a lot of friends in tournaments, and it's not always the case. I completely disagree. I think that no one's gonna fuck with you. Like, I think he's looking for the clout. He's chasing clout, and he's trying to like get that, but he's the one guy in Nashville. No tournaments here. I mean, sometimes you just gotta travel for those. All right, so we got some responses, right? Naturally, I'm gonna show you some responses. So we got Zaffarino, top Street Fighter V player, a high-level Street Fighter V player. It's not just the FGC. This is life. Status, fame, notoriety gets people to want to be around you because it enhances or sustains their social value. This is in all fields, and that's true. You know, if you're, you know, big-time Maximilian content creator, you're a button check guy, you're running the FGT, you know, people are gonna want to be around you. You know, yeah. Yeah, FGT. Yeah. Anyways, people are gonna want to be around you, and they want to, you know, like hang out with you at tournaments, get you a drink or whatever. But you know, if you're just coming onto the scene, you know, maybe you know, just try to get some sets. And we got some proper responses here. Of course, we got from Uncle Valle. You want to introduce yourself to the FGC? Gold old school and call next on a setup. Instant respect after you get your games in and go from there. Be mindful of everyone's time and you're good. And you know, I agree with Uncle Vi. You know, when you initially meet people in these tournaments, try to get there early so you can run casuals. Like, you would get a lot more games. You would get so much more games for people like that are higher level than you, because everybody wants to warm up. Funny how if you're not a high top level FG player, most people won't give a fuck about talking to you. And you know, I think this is the workaround, right? If you're like Alex Valle saying here, just, you know, play the set. Sometimes there are some rude top level players, right? I seen it before too, where like I was at a tournament, and this guy was like, you know, I appreciate you guys running casual on this setup, but I need the setup now. And I was like, yo, what a dick. What a fucking deck. He was like, oh, I need to practice, and we only have this character unlocked on this one or some shit like that. And you know, you're gonna run into people like that too. It's like, who gives a shit? Get over yourself. He wasn't even that good. He was like a top 8 finisher at that tournament, but like he was in the grand scheme of things a nobody in the scene. And this was in NLBC actually where this happened, and you know, we didn't give a shit. We just kept on playing. It's like, all right, whatever, man. Like, we pay entry fees, like coming in here just like you did. But yeah, this guy definitely had his head up his ass, and you know, I was making some friends just playing casuals. So and of course, we have another opinion from my favorite content creator Juna. He died to the CPU trying to unlock the character, something like that. I think he did okay, but he was definitely not like a final finisher. Alright, but there's two type of people at FGC events. The one who walks up to a group of strangers, doesn't introduce himself, and just stands there silently. In the past, that was me, back when I was more shy. The one who doesn't introduce himself, but starts talking to you about an obscure topic and then follows you around the venue. As an adult, more likely to be number 2 than number 1, but most likely I'm just gonna ask you for casual sets, and I try to get to know you after the game is done. So of course we got some response to that. Hi-Fi's like, I'm definitely number 1, and Kitty Kaboom is like, this also goes for anime cons. It's also very, very true. Alright, so let's see what the chat is saying. Every casual FGC meetup always been chill. Very rare they would turn newcomers away. Yeah, I think for the most part, most casual local tournaments are very, very chilled. The one that I went to where that event happened, and this is, you know, mind you, not a small local tournament. It was like one of those newcomer tournaments that they were throwing for Smash at NLBC. I forgot the name for it, but it begins with like an A or whatever. And it was like, oh, if you never won a tournament before, you participate in this tournament. And it was kind of like an event kind of deal, but not like a big event. It was like a weekly, right? Or like a bi-weekly. And yeah, it wasn't that big of a deal. It's just like people getting like power trips over themselves for no reason. Socializing is hard, man. Fucking weebs and anime con. You're number 1, no cap. Yeah. All right. But I thought it was an interesting topic. I think Alex Valle probably said it best. Just play the casuals. You don't have to say anything. You'll make friends that way. It's the best way of doing it. I still remember running casuals, and like I still remember my first interaction with like at least 5 different people, what characters they play, and who won the set. So definitely recommend doing that if you guys do end up going to offline events. The next topic, you're number 1 too, but people are friendly regardless. Exactly. Sometimes you do get a chance to play against really high level players. I played against the best Injustice player in the world in casuals. I got wrecked like 5 games straight, right? But I played a Evo number 1 placement player in Injustice, like on a long set. I got absolutely demolished, but it was a great experience. He was a nice guy. More news equals more money. Way. Alright, so next topic, switching on, you know, like, I enjoy that one, but the next one, I guess start the music again and play a different song since this is going a little bit longer than I thought it would. Oh, we started at a weird place. Okay. All right, so the next topic, of course, this is a big one in the FGC this week, is of course Virtua Fighter 5 and that absorbed netcode. When you think about online competitions, I'm curious about the netcode. What kind of method does this work use? And this was talking to one of the creators of Virtua Fighter 5. Recent fighting games sometimes uses a rollback netcode method for the netcode, but in this work, we are creating a mechanism by a method other than rollback. We are also doing test play overseas, such as Europe and the United States, and we can play without delay. Yes, of course, chat. We are talking about absorb netcode. Skunk Meat knows we are absorbing like Super Boo. Netcode's hella ass, don't play it. Of course, we had to meme it up, and Juna posted this immediately after this interview. The man is a mad genius. Here is the rollback netcode. There's Sega. There's the Sajam subs, the Rollbackia army. And there is absorbed netcode, of course, fighting off the rollback netcode army here. Of course, after this week, after we got a chance to check it out, we found out that absorbed netcode is nothing but a meme. All right, and I do have some thoughts on this though. Absorbed netcode was nothing but a meme. It's an option select saying they don't want to and/or they can't implement rollback netcode. So what does? Can someone explain the Sajam thing? Sajam is a big supporter of rollback, and he's basically the #1 shill for rollback in fighting games. So there you go, that's basically it. But what is absorbed netcode, you guys might be asking. So after a little bit of debate in the Twitters, after the game finally dropped, some of these NYC Furby, Sabin in particular, was able to find out that they were not doing peer-to-peer connections. They were doing peer to a Google server, and from the Google server to another person. Alright, yo, Blitz netcode, yo, that blast processing? Yeah, basically that's what it is. Absorb netcode is basically a relay netcode where they're pinging a server and the server pings you back after everything is just processed. So you go in, it goes back to you after it receives it from both sides. Alright, that two-sided action there. It's the same shit that Google Stadia does. I don't know what Stadia does, so I can't tell you. So of course, somebody figured this out, and someone mapped where all these Google servers are. And of course, this leads us to the current debate and the current meme in the FGC. And I can't believe we're talking about this in 2021. So these are all the Google server locations. If you're in a major metropolitan area, right? California, Oregon, Montreal, all of Europe, Asia, you got a Google server near you. But because you might notice that there's a barren region here, they're like, oh man, there is no Google servers in Africa? We got them, boys. Absorb netcode is racist. And that's been the current meme, of course, on Twitter. This one's not updated. I think there's been a newer one since this one's been posted. But the FGC Twitter is now like, absorb netcode is racist. I'm not playing this shit. I'm not playing Virtua Fighter. We're out. Max did a video on this, and there is one there. There is one there. Okay, cool. Yeah, there has not been a readily, easily available map of the Google servers. So maybe in recent memory they did put a server in Africa, but the current meme on the Twitter, if you guys are not aware, it's probably over by now because Max debunked it, is is that this netcode is whack. But if you take a look really fast once again, is it better than rollback? Oh, that's the other thing I wanted to talk to you guys about, right? So up until Tuesday, or is it Tuesday? Yeah, late Tuesday when everybody got it. There were some content creators. Yo, happy Pride Month, dude. There were some content creators that was like, yo, this netcode is great. It's awesome. And you know what I'm gonna tell you guys? Unfollow those content creators. They straight up lied to you, right? They straight up lied to you. Is the netcode bad? Is the netcode bad? No. It's not the worst netcode I've ever played. It's pretty playable. But if I would not look you in the eyes and be like, this netcode is great, I would not say that. I 100% would not say that. And any content creator that was like, this netcode is great, there's zero issues with it, unfollow them. They straight up lie to your face, and they're not giving you an honest review. They're shilling really hard. And yeah, I would cut those relationships because they're liars. And it was disappointing to me too, because like I believed a few people, I was hyped for it. Wipe your sweat with that Sega money. They're like, oh yes, we lost that IronLambro follow, but it's cool, we got Sega money now. Yeah, so like, yeah, that was hella disappointing. Like, just lying to people, being like, it's gonna be good. It's a free game, so at the very least, try it out for yourself first before you like knock it. But after you try it out and discover that it is in fact crap, yeah, by all means, shit on it. Sweating hard, told to say the netcode is great. Sega makes the lobby searching better. The lobby sucks too. You cannot search by password like in the Arxis games, and you cannot search at all. You gotta refresh the list of lobbies. In a week, it's not gonna be an issue because nobody's gonna be playing this shit. But like, as is, with like this hype that all these people trying to jump in and play games with each other, you have to refresh the list like 6 or 7 times before you can find your friend's lobby. What? Why? Why? Yeah, no, Chad is of course hype because next week we do have Strive and hopefully they have a better system. So, you know, we learned a couple of valuable lessons from Virtua Fighter, and one, you know, like, we can meme about new netcodes and stuff, but if it's not fundamental and playable at the end of the day, you are probably setting your fighting game back and not giving it the chance to grow, right? If Virtua Fighter had great netcode, like, I certainly think that people would definitely dive in after Strive drops, but with this netcode, I don't think it's gonna happen. And the other thing about this, and I'm gonna, you know, stop it after this point, is that because they're running on Google servers, at any time when they're like, we're done with this, they could stop paying for that Google server link, and they'll be done. They'll be like, you know, fuck the online component of this game. We're not paying for this anymore. We're out. And that's it. Whether the Strive server is dead on arrival and we're all forced to play Virtua Fighter and love it, I would play +R, and I would play Battle for the Grid, as was thing you was suggesting. Battle for the Grid has great netcode. They should have designed the lobbies around no player base. Yep, that's exactly what they did. Firing a quick shot at... Alright, so that's the last thing I want to say. They can shut down the lobbies at any time because they are using servers instead of peer-to-peer connections. So if they do decide this is a failure and scrap it, this could just be done and you're playing offline mode only. Alright, so last and final thing that I found from last week's FGC Twitter is this. Is Smash part of the FGC? I voted yes. A lot of people voted no, you know, close to 10,000 votes here. What do you think, chat? Right? What do you think? So I found a really good answer, but I wanted to know what you guys are thinking first. It is not, says Skunk Meat. Smacky says OMFG, no. I think, you know, in a way, yes. Is it part of it? Yes. Is it a fighting game? Okay, you know, we're getting some there with that lab answer. We're getting, I mean, with that, lab answer. Smash is a fighting game, but it's not part of the FGC. Alright, so someone more intelligent than me articulated this a lot better than I could, okay? So here's what this very articulate person says. The real question is the FGC a part of the Smash community, right? Because the Smash community is thriving and has thousands of searches a week and people interested, and that's without anything new added to it. Is that I say it ain't? You gotta take his word for it? Alright, so what did this articulate individual say that I agree with? No. FGC and Smash communities have different demographics, behaviors, games, and culture. They are cousins, related but different. Smash is a platform fighting game, but it's not FGC. Last tweet. This is not an insult or gatekeeping. Both communities are doing great. Like cousins, they meet at family gatherings, Evo, etc. Occasionally, while siblings like Street Fighter and Tekken see each other more often. Just play the games you like and stop caring about labels. And I was like, damn, dude, you just killed the entire conversation. There was a whole lot of likes for that tweet. Like, a lot of people agreed with them, like 2,000 plus likes. And I was like, all right, yeah, they're like cousins. Yeah, I see that. Yeah, right? Yeah, all right. No, this is a smart man. That was the owner of Panda Logic, or Panda Gaming, that esports team. So I was like, alright, yo, damn, wow. Just killed the entire conversations. And just like cousins, sometimes you have one you hate. Yeah, sometimes you hate each other. Right? Sometimes the FGC hates Smash, sometimes Smash hates the FGC, but at the end of the day, they're all meeting up and they're going to like some family events like Evo and CEO and Combo Breaker and stuff like that. Smash is the ugly cousin. Damn, wow. Yo, this Smash looks pretty good. We have some ugly fighting games. Some ugly fighting games. I can't think of any off the top. Battle for the Grid's kind of ugly, let's be honest here. At the end of the day, Nintendo hates the FGC a little bit. Is hot dog a sandwich? No, please don't. Not again. Alright everybody, that wraps it up for this first episode of the FGT. Hopefully you guys enjoy it. Like, comment, and subscribe. And remember, if you we film this every Wednesday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern, so if you want to be a part of this lovely chat while we're filming this, yeah, please join us. We would love to have you. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe once again. I'll catch you in the next video. Bye.